As we step into 2024, many are wondering what's in store for secondhand watch prices. Will they go up, or will they take a dip? So let's break it down. Can you believe it's already January? Another year zipped by and the world of watches has had its share of surprises and shifts. From Rolex's unexpected moves at Watches and Wonders, to the curious balance between rising prices at the counter and softer prices in the resale market, there's been plenty to keep an eye on. Some trends have been on a slow burn for a while now. More dial options, different case materials, and a move towards smaller sizes, but it seems like we're at a crossroads where some real changes are starting to take shape. The once assured notion that snagging a watch at retail meant a surefire increase in value is no longer a given. Take Rolex, for example. It's the big fish in the room, but its impact is becoming more evident, especially on limited editions from other brands. This year's Houghton key releases, especially the more affordable ones, stuck around longer than expected. This softening in the secondary market has its perks, though. Availability across brands has improved, and getting your hands on new releases through authorized dealers has become a bit quicker. It feels like the watch world is shifting gears, albeit slowly. The next few years could be a fascinating ride to watch how it all unfolds. Now that 2023's news is out, it's time to peek into the crystal ball for 2024. I've got a few predictions about where watches, brands, and the whole industry might head. These are just my 2 cents, though. I know, lower prices might sound odd, given the crazy price hikes we've seen lately. Watches shooting up by 40% to 60% in just a few years. Mind-boggling, right? Secondary market? That's a whole different story. Some super wanted models are trading at way higher prices than retail. But hold on, things are shifting economically. Inflation and interest rates have shot up, stock market's taken a dip, crypto had its bubble burst, and borrowing money's lost some appeal. All this means less cash to splash for many folks. Luxury brands are feeling the pinch with softer demand. Brands that race to jack up prices are now facing a reality check. Rolex and Patek Philippe might weather the storm fine, but others like JLC, making dramatic price shifts, or Omega nearing the limit for a Speedmaster's worth, might have to rethink. It feels like the whole industry might need a recalibration. Watches have made some massive leaps in pricing, making us wonder if they're really worth the asking tag, especially now that most buyers are becoming more cautious. My bet? Prices are likely to ease up soon. We're already seeing it in the secondary market. Premiums on hot watches are dropping, and discounts are popping up for others. This shift could spell trouble for brands. I reckon they've got 3 ways to tackle this. First up, they might just hit the brakes on further price hikes. They've been pushing up those numbers fast, but maybe it's time for a breather. This could stabilize prices for a bit, making watches relatively more affordable down the road as inflation hits everything else. Another route? Bring back those dealer discounts. Brands tried to snuff them out, but if demand dips and stock needs to move, discounts could sneak back in. We're already seeing some one-time sales online, hinting at this possibility. Last but not least, brands could mix things up by launching more budget-friendly options. They can't exactly slash prices on existing models, but new releases at lower price points could bring in fresh faces without devaluing their high-end pieces. But hey, any of these moves will take time to show results. Expanding collections and rolling out new watches isn't a quick job. However they do it, the retail market's looking softer. It's following the same trends we've seen on the resale side. Here's my prediction, tied closely to dial design: collaborations. They've been gaining traction, and I see this trend expanding even more in 2024. When I talk collaborations, I mean anything from partnerships with media outlets like Houghton Key or Time and Tide, to those cool Marvel watches by Audemars Piguet. Why the growth? Well, for starters, collaborations help brands connect with a whole new crowd. Take the legions of Spider-Man fans. Many might not be die-hard watch enthusiasts, but through partnerships they get introduced to luxury watch brands. Sure, the Audemars Piguet Spider-Man piece is a bit extreme in terms of price, but others, like the Oris Pro Pilot X Kermit edition, are hitting the mark. Second, these collaborations often spawn limited editions. We've seen a wave of these in the past. Despite the secondary market softening prices, making it tougher to nail a successful limited edition, it's still a golden opportunity. With a limited run tied to a well-known cultural reference, whether it's Houghton Key or something else, a brand can bet on these pieces selling out. It's a win-win situation for both collectors and the brands. These partnerships aren't just a business move, they're also timely marketing strategies tied to what's buzzing in pop culture. Think about a new Spider-Man flick hitting theaters and Audemars Piguet dropping a themed watch right alongside it. It's all about grabbing attention in the media and roping in folks who might have never considered luxury watches before. It's a bit like a famous celeb sporting a new timepiece. You know how much buzz that stirs up in the industry. In 2024, collaborations are sticking around, but I foresee a shift. In the past, they've mostly been with watch publications like Hodinkey or Time and Tide, keeping it inside the watch aficionado circle. Now, though, collaborations are branching out to link up with big pop culture franchises. I'm betting on more Disney tie-ins after the success of the Oris Kermit. And hey, imagine a watch brand teaming up with Batman. Especially intriguing considering the Batman nickname for Rolex. Seeing a Kermit trend, then maybe a Batman one? Picture a Zenith or Breitling decked out in Batman gear. It's a world of possibilities that could easily win over both watch lovers and pop culture buffs. But let's hope these collaborations don't end up costing as much as a house like Audemars Piguet. I'm calling it. I think the era of overly vintage-inspired watches is winding down, which means we'll likely see less Fotina going forward. Fotina, a term that's been around since 2012, refers to that artificially aged look some dials rock right out of the box. You've probably seen it, the off-white lume that gives watches that old-school vibe, showing up in big-name brands like Tudor and Omega. Some brands even added distressed dials for that vintage touch. In the past decade, there's been a surge in folks wanting vintage-style watches, coinciding with the overall love for vintage timepieces and the clamor for smaller cases. In our digital age, vintage watches provide a dash of nostalgia that speaks to many. Brands caught on and started offering modern watches with that vintage charm, making classic designs more accessible without the headaches of maintaining a true vintage piece. Think about the Tudor Black Bay. It soared in popularity and boosted the brand's rep. Omega did it too, with their heritage Seamaster and Speedmaster models. While vintage-inspired designs are still hot, I believe the use of Fotina might take a back seat. Instead, brands might play up other details like dial colors, sizes, text, or just go for pure recreations of the originals. The watch world seems to be at a crossroads, hinting at shifts in design and pricing structures. 2023 delivered unexpected watch launches, and it also hinted at a different vibe for 2024. My thoughts about the upcoming year center on availability, market dynamics, and the ever-evolving use of color. The possibility of price reductions looms on the horizon. How brands navigate this change is still a mystery, but there are various ways they could approach it. Plus, the fusion of watch brands with pop culture franchises has massive potential. It could shake up marketing strategies and bring forth some thrilling releases. Do you vibe with these ideas? Or do you have your own crystal ball for 2024? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more content like this.